Good morning from Orlando, Florida. Today we're going to be talking about Elvis Aaron Presley, the King. Where on February 15th, 1977, Elvis Aaron Presley performed what would be his final concert here in Orlando, Florida, because 6 months later, Elvis Aaron Presley, the King of rock and roll, would pass on. And as I got here, I noticed there was a crown. Pretty sure this is for the Burger King. But nonetheless, Elvis is still king. And today we're going to be finding the spots, the hotel he stayed at, and the location where the concert took place. Now, let's take a closer look. Now, February 15th, 1977, Elvis Aaron Presley came to Orlando, Florida. He had a concert that he would be performing, and he left quickly after because I believe he had another concert right after. This was during some heavy touring, of Elvis. Elvis toured very heavily. When he came back in the 70s after the 68 comeback special, Elvis never stopped touring until the day he passed away. And when I found out that Elvis performed his last concert that year he passed away here in Orlando, I thought, well, I've got to find these spots. Thanks to a few newspaper articles and everything, I pinpointed the hotel that Elvis stayed at. It is not a hotel anymore. Pretty sure this is not the best part of town, so when we get there, I want to try and park my car, but I don't know if it's going to happen. Just because there's nowhere to park. This is a working place, and I don't want to disturb their business. But the sports stadium is now a residency. It's now a neighborhood. So that's going to be interesting to see. But during this time of Elvis's career, he was touring heavily. The news and the media have always critiqued Elvis from his early beginnings on everything the man did. He could be the most slender man. He could be a heavy-set man. He could be blonde. He could have black hair. He could do whatever. And the media was always going to put Elvis down. And they even did about this. And he was, he was overweight during this time in his career. A lot of factors with that. But you could tell by the photographs from the concert that I will show as we're riding around this neighborhood, Elvis always had a smile. He always put 100% in for his fans. He's always been an idol to me. He's always been one of my top idols that I look up to. He's from the same state that I'm from, Mississippi. And today we're gonna have some fun with some Elvis history. Let's get into this. Now, I know Elvis flew into Orlando, I'm certain. I don't think he took one of his private planes. I think he flew into the Orlando International Airport and, obviously had vehicles waiting for him. Everything was prepared at the hotel when they arrived. In typical Elvis fashion, his guys were already there ahead of him. Everything was already set. And the reason I bring up the flying situation is right over here is an airport in Orlando, a small airport, where the kind of plane like the Lisa Marie or the Hound Dog could fly into, so I'm not sure if he did fly over here. I don't know if this airport was available over here next to this park I'm standing at, Festival Bay Park. But it would be cool if you were sitting here one day in Orlando, Florida, and looked up in the sky and saw the Hound Dog or the Lisa Marie flying in. I don't know if anybody has any photographs of those airplanes actually in the sky, not a publicity shoot or not news. Some local fan who's sitting there at the airport and just saw that flight come in. Probably didn't happen in the middle of the day. It was probably in the wee hours of the morning. Knowing Elvis's schedule, it probably happened at 4 a.m. And it was Elvis Presley. Probably could make anything happen at an airport at 4 a.m. But let's head over to where, when Elvis touched down in Orlando, where he went, took you straight over to his hotel. And at the time, it was called the Hilton Inn West in Orlando, Florida. And straight ahead is where the hotel was that Elvis stayed at. Yeah, as you can see, there's no way I'm gonna just park my car and walk around here. I got people all over the place, man. So I'm gonna pull in here to the Maxwell Terrace Apartments and see if I can ride around at least and show you. Now, I don't know if these have been completely changed since 1977, but I'm going to go ahead and say no, they haven't. But this is where Elvis stayed. I'm going to drive around to the other side here. So this is it. Elvis would have pulled in here, and I'm sure the guys would have taken care of everything. This is now the Pathlight home. But they do say on their website that this is where Elvis stayed. So they know. Elvis probably would have been taken around the back if I had to guess. I was looking at that room right there, the riser room. Well, I do know that Elvis ordered some food when he got here. He got here about 12:30 a.m. on Tuesday. And Elvis ordered some cheeseburgers and french fries, and the delivery guy took it to the room, and he was met, not by Elvis, but by one of Elvis's guys. So there was a food order here, and I wonder if that was the old, I think it was called the House of Beef here at the Hilton Inn South, but now is the Maxwell Terrace Apartments, a part of the Pathlight Home Employment Center down here in Orlando. I'm not sure when this changed over to the Maxwell Terrace Apartments, but there's a lot of Elvis history right here. Well, I got in. The front gate was open. So there's the front entrance there. And they say that Elvis stayed at the 3rd floor penthouse, which might have been right up there, if I had to guess. It's the only place around here that is on the 3rd floor. But this place is very interesting, I'll tell you that. I'm gonna say that's the 3rd floor penthouse right there. All right, time to get out of here. Everybody's staring at me. But that's it. That is where Elvis Aaron Presley stayed in 1977, February 15th, 1977. Now let's head over to where the Orlando Sports Stadium used to sit. But it's now a residential area. It's now a neighborhood. And we've got a 15-minute drive. I don't think the 408 was here back in 1977, but it's a 15-minute drive on this, heading over to the former sports stadium. And they even had to delay the concert a little bit. They had a gospel band open. The house was, very pleased by that, but there were a lot of people still trying to get down to the Orlando Sports Stadium because there was some traffic. Now we're down here near Valencia College and UCF and everything. A lot of this has been developed since 1977. I'm gonna say a majority of this was not here. Maybe these homes, but there's a lot of new development down here, new apartments, new homes. So down here, 1993, the Eddie Graham Sports Stadium closed. In 1995, it was demolished. And this sports stadium had some of the greatest Led Zeppelin. They had all kind of wrestling events here. They were definitely known for the wrestling events. Even Elvis Presley played here. But now, since it was demolished in 1995, someone thought, well, we're gonna turn it into development and build houses. And that's all that's left. We're still gonna ride around and see exactly the ground that the King played his last concert in Orlando, Florida. It's crazy. 6 months later, he would pass away. This is it. Woods Edge, Econ River. This looks just like the neighborhood that was used in Edward Scissorhands. The way you come in, and it's just one big circle. But it was on this property here where Elvis played his last concert in Orlando. This was the last time Elvis Aaron Presley would be in Orlando, Florida. This is like hollow ground. Louis Armstrong played here. Led Zeppelin played here. Three Dog Night. But today I'm talking about Elvis. This is one big circle down here in this neighborhood. They demolished the stadium in 1995. It closed in 93, demolished in 95, and then these houses were probably put up a couple of years later. Did anybody come out here and see wrestling or any of those concerts? Did you get to see Elvis? I want to know. Elvis made a few sightings in Florida. Jacksonville, Lakeland, even Orlando. And this is it. We are almost done with the complete circle of where the stadium stood. Now, this place was huge. Massive complex out here. It's kind of weird. These people are living on what some would call rock and roll and wrestling hollowed ground. But this is where Elvis pulled up and performed his last concert in Orlando. And it's off of Econlockhatchee Trail. Say that 5 times fast. And all of this land over here, I'm pretty sure, was a part of the sports complex. Massive sports complex. The Eddie Graham Sports Complex. What a fun day. What a fun day traveling around and seeing all the spots. I'm always looking to uncover any kind of Elvis history. And Elvis performed many places in Florida. And I'm going to be tracking down a lot of those in the future and putting those into the vlog. I love Elvis history. I love Elvis. And there's going to be a lot more here on the channel. I did a lot last year. And it's time to bring that back. It's what makes me happy. And I know a lot of you out there enjoy this history too. There's going to be a lot of fun spots. So it's going to be, in the channel as time progresses. But today's episode is done. I will see you guys on the next adventure where we visit Tampa, Florida, and I wrestle a one-eyed, one-horn, flying purple people eater. See you on the next episode. Until then, stay weird. Goodbye.